Good morning, everybody. How are you? Are you good? Sunday morning. Hang on, let me take my gumboots off so I don't clomp around. Yes. Yeah, it's a beautiful day outside. I don't know what to say first because I've got so much to say and I don't know what to get out of my mouth first. First of all, don't adjust your TV sets, your iPads or anything. We've had all of us have had a major software update overnight, and it's just a sheer miracle that we're ready on time. Actually, it's not a sheer miracle. Rob gave me a huge hand to get it all going, and we've switched laptops, and wow, it's just great. Anyway, have you had a good weekend so far? I hope so. It was a stinker on Friday here, but it was cooler yesterday, and today just looks absolutely glorious, so I'm looking forward to it. While we're just waiting for a few friends to finish making their cuppa for the morning, including Rob making mine, let's say good morning to the team. Who's in the building? Denise, good morning. Hello, Liz, good morning. Francis, Yvonne, Louise. Hey, mate, how are you? Are you good? Karen Calver, welcome. Welcome, how are you? Tracy, catching live. Some people have said to me, how do I catch the live? Well, now I can always say 8 a.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time is the go on a Sunday, and then anything else you've got to have it set in notifications. It's a bit embarrassing when I have my own notifications set. Here he comes. Thanks, Robbie. Jackie, Leslie, hello. Sue McGonchi, how are you this morning? Marie Evans, where have you been all my life? Good to see you're here. Bernadette, I was channeling you actually, Bernadette, yesterday when I was working on setting up for today's show with the Swing Satchel. Lorraine, good morning. Jimmy, how are you? Haven't seen you for ages. You've probably been here, but I might have missed you. Sorry. Hope all is well with you in Tassie. Christine, Doreen, Cheryl, Bridget, good morning. Bridget, okay, Bridget. Now, Bridget, please have a look below the live show at the event post that I put up yesterday. I put it there so that you would see it, and please tell me what that plant is in the garden. That flower, that multi-orange thing that I put up. Please let me know what it was. That was just purely to remind me to ask you. Evelyn, good morning. Oh, you funny thing. I read your comment on A Quilter's Life just before. You're so funny. So funny. Lynette, Anne's here from the UK, a cold UK. We'd love to send you some warmth this morning, Anne, or this evening for you. Del, Jackie, hello. Cheryl, have I doubled up now? Probably. Fiona is in the building. Fiona says, good morning, Rob. How does she even know you're here? I don't know. She just does that, doesn't she? Brizzy is looking fine this morning. Is it Anfield? I hope so. Julie. Wendy Burns, good morning to you. Your fabric went in the mail yesterday. Hang on, when did it go in the mail? It's in my car, Wendy. It's going. It's on its way out now. It's done. Steve did it for me on Friday. And he finished the arch. I finished the arch. I'll put photos on A Quilter's Life. The arch is finished. Barbara, good morning to you. Jean, oh, Jimmy says not too bad, thanks. Not too good? Not too bad. Hopefully good. I'm hoping Flick pops in this morning too, Jimmy. Susan, good morning. Thank you for joining us. Nancy, hello. Oh, Julie's here too. Oh, Julie's beaten you to it, Bridge. It's a blood lily, really? Look, it's quite comical here because Mum will come round for a cuppa and she'll go, so have you found anything new in the garden? I'll go, come and have a look at this. And we just stand there and look at these beautiful, wild and weird and wonderful things. You go, what is that? You probably need to see some of our beautiful lilies in the garden. I need to pick a bunch and bring them on a show. Val, good morning. Denise, hello. Elizabeth is here with us. I don't know what it is. I don't... No, Bridge, I didn't plant it. It was here. Oh, you're so funny. That's all right. Jules has come to the rescue and says this is a blood lily. Oh. I never thought you'd say you'd forgotten, but maybe it just was a ring-in with one of your canna or calla lilies. I don't know, but it's very wild and wonderful and gorgeous. You all right, Robbie?
I just need to check whether we're on streaming on the right level because you're on my laptop.
Oh, technical issue, IT. He's on it. It looks good on my phone.
Yeah, it's just juggling a bit.
All right. Jeanette, Helen. Okay, I'm going to get going. We better get going. Christine, good morning. We better get going for the day. Okay, so today's word is, it's like play school, isn't it? Today's search word, you okay now? All right. Today's search word is swing, because we're going to take a little look at the swing satchel. Now, I'm going to be honest, okay? It's more about what I need to get done, but I thought I'd share it with you because I have started the second edition version, updated, improved, whatever you want to call it, version of my little handbag design book. We are redoing it this year. And I want to have all new samples to put in it, and I really want to put the swing satchel in there. It'll be more detailed and there'll be sort of more advanced tips and introducing stuff about zips and everything this time around, and bag furniture and batting and all that sort of stuff. So I wanted to go back and revisit the swing satchel. Now, we actually took it down when we ran out of the bag furniture, but miraculously Viv came to the rescue, found some, sent them over with some other stuff for me. And so we've got just a few of these back. And that was really good. I put the sewing machine right in front of the switcher. Smart. Very smart. So these are what go on a swing satchel. Now, as I mentioned to my Quilters Life members yesterday, and so if you are an AQI member, do not buy the pattern. You've got it. I popped it up for you yesterday as part of your membership. So, as I mentioned yesterday, you don't have to use one of these with your swing satchel. Of course, you can do what we do with a lot of our other smaller bags and actually do it with a 4 thickness strap. So you know we do that with the Walker bag, the Melba satchel, all of those, and you just decide what width you want your strap to be, times it by 4, and that's the width of your strap that you need. You fold in the raw edges and you fold it in again, so it's like a sandwich and it's 4 thicknesses thick. Top stitch down each side, done and dusted. And that will work with this one as well, because it's not a big bag, and you're not going to put that much stuff in it. Seriously, you're not. Now, the fun thing is when you go looking for your swing satchel and you can't find it. So, Rob, I don't know what I've done with it. Honestly, it should be hanging there, right there, on a hat stand, and it's not. And I've been through suitcases, I can't find it. So instead, this morning, the power of television, magic, whatever you want to call it, Rob's actually popped up the picture for me. And yeah, so you can have a look. So this is the one that I'm talking about. So you see the straps on there? So you've got little D-rings that you put on little loops on the side of the bag, and then you clip on your little clip fob things and attach them on. But as I said, you don't have to. You can just sew a 4 thickness strap straight into the side seams at the top of the bag. Bag's missing. That went really well, didn't it? Just shows I do need to make a new one. But I'm going to run you through a few things with it this morning, and I hope that's okay, because then it kind of helps me gel the little chapter that I'm writing at the moment. And I've had a lot of fun doing it with our Dream Big Pack. I've had a lot of fun with the Dream Big Pack. You know, it's just really good fun. So these have got, as I said, I'll just show you again. You've got you've got a set of D-rings with each one, or a pair, and they unwind. Actually, they are 11, you know. They unwind, and I think they are. I'm sniffing it. Sorry. Maybe not. I might better take that back. That might be false advertising. But they are really, really good. And you can see you've got your little adjustable buckle. Now, we will be getting a heap more of these in different colours. We're working on that for this year. But for now, we've got about 12 of the black and only about 4 of the red. So, I'm using the black this morning with the swing satchel I'm doing. So I'm going to pop that up there. It's just out of your shot a bit. You can see there's lots of stuff happening up there, brightly coloured chaos. So I'll pop that over there. Then, first of all, something else I want to talk about while I show you a few of the fabrics. Did I miss anyone? Fiona, oh, Jenny Page, good morning. How are you? Peter's here as well. I love this Sunday morning thing once we get started. I swore to her this morning. I said, I promise, I'll have the show set up by midday Friday, because I did it this morning at 5:30. See, Bernadette, that's why I was channeling you yesterday. Corinne, good morning. Michelle's here. This is all brilliant. Good morning, Rhonda. Estelle, welcome. Okay, first of all, fabrics. I love my blue and white. I really do. And I've just ordered a heap more for later in the year. They're in vogue at the moment. Isn't that wonderful? It's so good. It's fresh. Got blue and white in my kitchen. It's really good. Okay. Sorry, I was going to go off on a tangent about a few other things then in terms of the house, and we haven't got enough time. All right, these ones, first of all. Now, I mentioned to you last week that P&B had lifted their game with their fabrics, and they were beautiful. Remember those gorgeous oriental ones that we've got from last week? Wilmington are doing the same, and I'm very happy with the feel of this fabric. Of course, I had to have it because look at it. How can you not have that? Love the blue. And as many of you know, Margaret Upston and myself are doing a collaboration this year, a little book called Let's Go Dutch. And because Margaret is, of course, very much Dutch heritage, and her parents are Dutch, and we've been to Amsterdam, and we've done our little bit of research. All right, so we had a little jaunt in Amsterdam. They had a lot of croquettes and a lot of apple cake, never mind. But we are doing one together, so we're just drawn to everything blue and white at the moment because we're looking for a stock, of course, of lovely fabrics that we can use for our little book with recipes and projects and things in it. However, I've stashed a little bit of these to use, but I'm also got some that I can share now. Butterflies. I'm going to put the overhead on for you in a tick. Actually, I don't need to pull this whole gorgeous bolt down because I've got a piece here to show you. Pop that there, and then I can do that. So they are lovely. There's not metallic on them, but they've got a beautiful rich blue feel to them. Now I do a little disclosure to you. They don't go with my denims. So the denim shirting that I have, I don't think the blue's right to go with these, and the bee gelato is not right either. So I want to just put that out there so you know. If you want me to find some coordinates to go with these, I've definitely got fantastic Toscanas that are going to go with these, and also some of our Colourwork solids, and I'm more than happy to pull you a little stash to go with it. Not a problem at all. But I did want to mention that because when I saw them, I immediately went, put them with the denim, tried the light, tried the dark, and the denims looked dirty up against them. Yeah, sometimes that just happened. The other thing too, with Colourworks, go the off-white, not the vivid white, if you need a solid. And again, if you want me to choose a white to go with them, let me know, because you don't want the real vivid white. You want the off, and I can't remember if it's 10 or 100. I'm sorry, off the top of my head. I know they've got them out on the bench at the moment playing with them for something else, but let me know if you need the white and I will choose the white for you that goes with them. So beautiful little butterflies. These guys are about, just so you know, let me get my ruler. Let me have a look. Yeah, so they're about 1.5 inches across, and I just think they're divine. Yeah, just that's the main part of the bag. Lining and feature, cut out my butterflies, feature fabric for the bag, or these all together in a really simple little quilt. But also, if you've got blue and white china like I've got, then a nice little table runner is going to be the go. Now, having a chat with a mate the other day, and the question was, did I have a Dresden wedge for a 20 wedge Dresden? And I said yes. It's actually the one that I used to do my pointed Dresdens, and I had it out because we're redoing our designer block packs at the moment, giving them a fresh look, and we're just been, I wouldn't say slack, but a bit busy, and I never got around to doing them again. And now that we've got Mr. Steve and the electric cutter, they they're back on the books because it's not taking us hours to cut them by hand. So when I said yes and the size that I had, her answer was, it's not big enough. And then I thought about it afterwards and I thought, well, that's just silly. Well, it's not just silly, but maybe I need to explain that once you've got a Dresden wedge, you can turn it into any size you want, and you can leave it to make a pointed Dresden, or you can round it off yourself. And you know I do that all the time with glasses, bottom of bottles, all that sort of stuff. You can always add your own curve to the top of the pointed wedge. So this little guy is going to give you the angle that you're after, and I want to show you that because I know a lot of you just keep buying. I don't sell a lot of templates because I don't sort of seem to have the need for them as much, and I tend to be able to convert I like to convert what I've got rather than you having to buy a whole heap of templates for every single project that we do. You can tell I'm not in the template business then, can't you? There you go. Alright, so I am with this one though, but I know a lot of you already own this. So I thought this fabric was a really good example to show you what I'm talking about, and just to be able to demonstrate this. Now, this here is a beautiful big flower, and there it is again, and there it is again. So it sort of appears in different places on the fabric with other things around it, but I think we can get a kaleidoscope effect with it. Now, I just want to have a look. My little template is 5 inches high, and that's why if you see the designer packs come back up, they come with 5-inch wide strips of fabric, so you can just, you know, dovetail this with my flowering gum on it. And the whole idea with this wedge is you actually fold in the top corners to make a point, but what we're going to do this morning is actually leave this out straight so that you can see the effect of this as well. I could point it up here, but I just sort of want to have a little bit of a play. Now if I want to get a really good width, you see how that's just not wide enough up here? So what I actually need to do is bring this down and have the wedge go out further. But again, this wedge is still giving me the angle that I want, so we can actually use this and extend it, as long as we've got this lovely little angle happening here. So if I reckon that's about good there, and I'm going to measure up and allow enough room at the top to get this flower in. So if I go beyond the flower, Robbie, if you're still watching, can you please come and shut the door, because the sparrows and the swallows are having a fight outside the shed door and they're driving me nuts. I can't hear myself. They're so noisy, territorial, and very, very busy building nests for the second time this year. So I actually want my template to be right up here. I want it to be 9 inches high to get this flower in that I've got. Well, you can't see it because of that light, sorry. To get that in, so I want this in here. I'm going to pop this aside. I'll just grab some paper. I'm going to use my graph pad, but you don't have to use a graph pad. It's just what I've got sitting here. I always like having this sort of sitting around, so if something comes to mind, I can draw it up straight away. So there's my 5 inches on here. I'll grab a pen. And draw on my template just for now, so you can you see that there? You can. Alright, and then I've started at the 10-inch mark on my pad, so I'm going to go up to the 1, so that's going to give me my 9 inches, so I'm going up to there. So I'm just going to take my ruler and extend my wedge out like that. Now this, of course, is going to be a huge Dresden, but I think it's going to be it's going to be a really, really lovely, lovely, lovely table mat. I think it would be really nice to have in the middle of my table. If I had a plate here, which I don't, but if I had a dinner plate, I'm just going to draw this in by hand. I could also come through and just put that dinner plate just so it touches the top here, and get a really nice, accurate, thanks Robbie, curve over like that. And there you've got it. So you don't have to go out and buy a template. You just use what you've got to do it. Now, shall we do that straight onto the fabric as well so you can see it? Okay. Pull this out. And let's just do it straight on now that you get the gist of it. I'm going to sit this here just above so you can see. So I'm down through the middle, put that there, and I'm going to put that there, I think. I'm going to sit my template over the top. So naturally, if I was going to do this repetitively, I would actually draw myself up a template to use. The other thing you can do, if I was cutting this flower from exactly the same design layout all over the fabric, like you do with my, I don't know, with mine, Melba or something like that, then you could actually find a mark or put a mark on your little template so you sat that over the same spot in the design every time. But here I'm going to be cutting this flower from different spots and it's got different stuff around it. Okay, I've drawn that on. There's my mark up there. So I'm going to draw up and draw up like that. And I'm going to draw in my little curve. How naughty, second time. There you go. And then we'll cut this out and we'll see how I go. I also, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to nick in so I don't waste any fabric. When I come back later, I've got bits to use. I'm also thinking that with this, you realise I'm going to have to finish it now, don't you? With this, because I've got that curve, and if I wanted to just do it as a whole placemat, then I would cut my binding on the bias so that it does curve nicely for me, and I'd use that beautiful tone-on-tone leaf. I think I'm going to have to do it. There you go. So you can imagine if I had 20 of those. Oh, yes. And it's been done with that little wedge. Now I choose not to add a seam allowance. I like to cut it big enough that I can just use it as it is. But if you decide that you want to do this and then before you cut out add another seam allowance, you can do that. And the great thing about that when you do it is, like when we do curved bases on bags and things, is that you've then got your seam line marked in. So if you are sewing curves together, and also with ones like this, where you've now got this actually cut on it's across the grain, it's bias, and therefore the integrity of the fabric's compromised a little bit. It's not a severe one like a bias binding, but it's just, you know, a little bit compromised. It's really good to have that seam line in there so that you can pin it really nicely and match up your seams on each side. So I'll leave that up to you. But see, so you can use one of these to do any size. Now you could shrink it as well. I just want to show you what happens with this. If it was straight, I'm just going to come back and cut this across. So the pattern that goes out when we get our designer packs done again is to actually keep it straight, like the template, and then we fold these together. I think I can do it for you with just a pin. I'll just pin this. This could all go really wrong, not sure. And then once that, we actually sew that, and once we've sewn it, there we go, we turn it out. We get actually that looks good too. We get a pointed wedge. Like that. Yeah. I'm going to have to make one. I don't know where it's going to go. I suppose it goes on my kitchen table. I've got Stephen's beautiful board he made me for Christmas on there at the moment, but I'm sure there will be a reason. Actually, maybe on the kitchen bench, Bridge, what do you think? Because I've got the, I'm asking Bridget now, because I've got my blue and white china up on the shelves in the kitchen, so maybe there. Anyway, there you go. So I wanted to show you that, because have a look at what you've got. If you've got Dresden wedges, whether they're rounded at the top or not, you can still use them for any size. And if you want to do the straight pointed thing, you can do that too. That I've cut 1/2 meter, and I am pretty confident I'm pretty confident I can fussy cut my 20. Alternatively, I could alternate it with the butterflies for the wedges, and then use the blue for the binding. Or if I had 1 meter of this, I would get all my fussy cutting for the front in this great big 9-inch long one, and then I'd have enough for the back as well. So I'll leave that with you to have a think about. But yeah, you should go through your templates. I mean, we've all got truckloads of them, haven't we? I know I do, because oh yeah, Bridget, you're not wrong. And I know that I don't use them all. They just sit there, so I need a bit of a clean out. Oh, can't you? The floral or the swing? Okay, give me, I don't even know if I can do it on this computer. Give me 2 seconds. Let me have a look. Maybe Rob's doing it for me. He might be. Oh, I should not push that button while I'm doing this. That was really silly. What did I do that for? Robert will fix it.
Do what?
Can you please fix... What are you... Rob's just walked in in gardening gloves, a Cobra on his... Oh my goodness. Could you please... The butterfly fabric that we've got on today is not up on the show. So could you have a look for me?
Okay.
And also, I've just managed to lose my page. Where to take it offline later. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Big uh-oh. Manage video? Maybe I push that button. I got it. Sorry. So unprofessional. Alright, next one. Okay, so we've got gorgeous fabrics that kind of go into that whole periwinkle blue. Well, be it's these ones. Yvonne says these two are not up. Not under swing. They're up, but they're not under swing. Okay. So if you search by recent search, you know how I... Wilmington. Put in Wilmington. Alright, these are divine. I'm going to pull a couple down and show you, and then the big ones like that, because I've actually done a pre-cut pack. I didn't know what to do with these except give some to Emma, because she's my Iris girl. But it's just, they're beautiful, and these are all digitals as well. Now most of them are in the beginnings, and Jason has re-released some. So these were a little while ago, and he's come back. Is that right? Oh no, not this one. He's re-released some. This one's brand new. Isn't that just gorgeous? Love an iris. What I might do is actually pull this pack out, because I have done, do you remember with the Dream Big pack? There it is there again. I did 9 fat 8s for the price of 8, and I've done it again. So I'll pull this one off.
It's in draft.
Sorry?
Sorry, the top one's in draft.
Oh, okay. Then can you take?
Yep.
Are you just?
I'll just look through.
Just fix it, done. Just fix it. That'd be great. Let me just take this one off. Here we are. Okay, so there's the iris one, and then there's this bit. I don't know what it is. I'm not sure what the flower is. I thought crocus at the start. I went no. Magnolia, no. I don't know, but it's absolutely beautiful. So I'm going to put this one up here. Yes, Nancy, they are gorgeous colours. Absolutely. Look at this beautiful, fresh little crisp sprig. Just lovely. And then we've got a gorgeous Robbie door, gorgeous kaleidoscope. Look at that. It's sort of geometric. Oh, hang on. There you go. See that? Just gorgeous. I'm not sure who escaped from where, but we had helicopters around at midnight, 3 a.m. and now back at 9 a.m. in the morning.
That's the fire one.
It's morphed. It's morphed. Oh, look. Sorry. My bad. Okay, here you go. This is a beautiful little teal, as seen in my shirt, paisley, with the blue through it as well. So that one's really nice. And then we go into beautiful little florals like these. Then we've got the geometric. So what I wanted to do was sort of just give you a really nice little stash that's going to take you from everything from this gorgeous true blue. Hey, does that go? Wait. Wait, wait, wait. Yes, it does. That works with that really well. Hey, I didn't even notice that. Can you see that? There's little shadows of blue butterflies underneath these. My eye did not pick that up. I can't believe it. That works really well. And then this lovely thing that's sort of sitting on a background of a trellis is just stunning. So it's a really nice little pack. I just couldn't resist, because they all came in together, I couldn't resist doing a pack, because I know a lot of you love having your little stashes to do your English paper piecing, and little bags and little details and little purses and all things like that. So I just thought we needed to have another little pack. So there we go. Pop that there. Pop that there. Right. It's yum. I do like it. Oh, I found now. How you going, Rob?
Done.
Ah, thanks. I did find some beautiful Suspargo threads to go with them as well, but we'll come back and work with those next week, because I kind of got an idea. But I'll leave that with you for now, and I'll pop these up here. All right. Now, with the Swing Satchel, so I'll just show this to you again, as I said. Can't find the bag. It was hanging, I don't know. I really don't. You know, I'll find it after the show. That's the way it works, isn't it? It will be here after the show, but I don't know where it is. But have a look at it there. So we've got two sides to the bag. We've got one you can see on the left-hand side that's got a strip of feature, some little English paper piecing. You've got a zip, and then at the top you've got a panel of the feature fabric. Then on the right hand side of the picture you can see that's the other side of the bag. So they look very similar, but if you look closely at the top, you've got a smaller piece that's rounded off, and that's actually a flap that comes over from the other side, and there isn't a zip on that side. So you've got lots and lots going on with this bag, and that's, you know, that's sort of why I wanted to have a play with it again for me, so that I was ready to do my new little booklet thing. Now with bag design, there's only 7 ways to make a bag. 6 of those are assembly, and the 7th, which I add like as a little disclaimer, is when you do a formed bag, if you're using felt or something like that. So the classic original, and I think I can rip it off my hat stand, what I would call, hang on, I'm getting it, the classic original all-in-one base and sides bag is the studio bag, which, oh, we go back a long way, a long way, but this is usually the one that I will pull out when I first start talking about all-in-one base and sides. And what that means is that you've got one strip that goes all the way around. Very, very versatile, and probably the best bag to make up as you go, because you can design the front, copy it for the back, cut the strip for the sides. It's really straightforward. It only becomes more complicated when you're writing a pattern and you want people to be able to replicate what you've done. And also probably more so when you have square base and sides. Takes a little more maths actually than a rounded one. So this bag and the swing satchel actually fall under the same category. So that's why I'm having a play with the swing satchel, and I couldn't resist it when the handles came back in and we had all of this gorgeous Dream Big fabric in this pack that I really wanted to have a go. So I'll show you what I've got here on the table. That was the pack. Pop that there. There's stuff everywhere here. Okay, I've got a couple of zips as options to play with for my fabric. I've got 2 different size English paper piecing bits. I'll go through that in a minute. I've got my zip pulls. I've gone for the flowers because there's flowers in the print. So, oh, you can't see them, sorry. It's all shiny. So they're my little zip pulls and the little flowers. Pop them down there. That's the official pack. And then this, this is what my Dream Big Fat 8 pack looks like after I've been playing with it for a week. Remember we did this a couple of weeks ago? We had a play with the adhesive filing as well. It's all just sitting there. I'm actually going to make that into a zip purse to go with my swing satchel. So there's a lot of stuff going on. I'll come back to those in a minute. Now I've started cutting it all out. So when you do get your pattern, as I said, if you are a member of A Quilter's Life, don't buy the pattern. You've got it. I popped it up yesterday. One thing about the pattern, when we send out a hard copy, we do include in the pattern the little English paper piecing octagons that I used for the one that's on the cover. If you're in A Quilter's Life club and you're doing the geisha, you're covered. They're the same as your geisha ones. If you are in A Quilter's Life and you're not doing the geisha and you don't have these, please email me and I will fix some. I'll send you some out so you've got them. If you wish to use them. Alternatively, you can use the bigger ones and I'll show you that in a moment. Just a bit of a glance for you. You will see here lots of stuff to cut out. So I just wanted to run through a few of the bits in the pattern, and I've decided to do a little bit of a rearrangement just to confuse the issue. I've done a little bit of a swap around. So if I show you this again, so where the feature fabric is at the top on this one, I'm doing that as plain, and where the denim is, or the dark blue, I'm doing that as the feature. So I'm doing a little swap around. So I'll take you through and show you what I'm doing. And I decided to play first up with all sort of the pastel colours that are in this pack, or the spring colours. So I've got the purples, I've got my purple, periwinkle, pink, and the 2 greens. They're what I'm going to play with. Alternatively, I could run the 2 greens with the lime green, with the red, with the orange, with the yellow. There's lots of different combos that you could do. And when you get to the instructions, the pieces that you cut for the bag, I can't believe I haven't got the bag. The pieces you cut for the bag are 8 inches wide. So I had a look at the fabric, and if you remember, with this cool fabric, when we had a play the other week, you can see where we had a play the other week, these squares are 2.5 inches wide. So what I decided to do was actually cut 4 strips, sew them together, and then just trim down the sides so that they were 8, because they came up to 8.5. But now they're 8, so I've actually put them together. I'll give you a bit of a... Let's use... I've got a camera sitting over there we're not using. Let's use this one. There you go. So I've actually pieced them together. Oh, a little bit of a faux pas there. I didn't quite line them up, but it was actually very easy to line up the print design so it looks like they're all pieced together. And of course you could do what we did the other week and do the cool bit on the violin as well. So I've got that bit done, and I've also got the other side of my bag. So the side where the flap is going to come over onto with mine is going to be this. And then this is below the zip on the front, and somewhere here. Here it is. Oh, phew. This is going to be, just got to sew these together. This is going to be what sits above the zip. So you can see what I've done now. This is where the denim was with the EPP and the strip. And now this is actually below my pocket instead. And I'm popping on, I've got to pop on a little strip. Do you know, it was so long since I've made this bag, I thought there was an error in the bag. In fact, I can show you. I had a pink fit, and you can see I've crossed it out. Up here I've gone, it's wrong. It's not wrong. It should be 1 1/4 wide. It's right. I don't know, just freaked out. So that's going to go there. So now that this is plain fabric instead of feature fabric, so I've swapped them round, this is what's going to go here. So I have fussy cut with my little EPP pieces that come in a hard copy of the pattern, or you've got them for your geisha. I have fussy cut from this fabric 4 of these little designs. Now when you look at the fabric, it's got all different little designs on it. So it's got dahlia flowers, this funky psychedelic spin out pointy thing here, and it's got these beautiful sort of kaleidoscope mandala designs. One of them has white, you can see the white background, and one of them has the dark. So I purposely chose to do all 4 that have got the light, so that they kind of all look nice together. And if I flip them over, you can see I've got my little EPP epiplex in there, and we need to come back and just sew this last one on. I thought I'd do this with you so you can see. Thank you, Kieran. I like that. Oh, I like that. I've got my glasses, but I don't have my thimble. That's okay. I will survive for 5 seconds without the thimble. Not that one, that one. Okay. So I'll just come over here with you, and I'll put them right sides together and pop my thread up underneath. And just whip stitch along this edge. You see that? And I'm just picking up just a bit of the fold. I'm using confetti, which is my machine hand thread, and I could be using a Fina as well. If you love the Masterpiece boxes of all the Superior Thread Masterpiece bobbins, I've got more coming this week, and they will go back up online. So I've been asked for them, so they will be back. You'll also find a lot of the Creative Grids rulers are back in stock. There's low quantities on a couple, just because our supplier got it wrong, and so they've got to send out the right ones. Once I've finished, I'm just threading my thread back underneath a little bit of that seam allowance, so it's hidden and they're together. Now obviously I need to come through and do that little trick and just wet it slightly to get these little templates out. You know me, I am guilty. Oh my goodness, I am so guilty of often leaving them in. But I promise I'll take them out. So there you go, that's going to sit there. I think that's going to be good. Alright, so I need to iron. Oh, wool mats are back too. Yippee. Everything runs fine for a while, and then all of a sudden I will wake up in the morning and go to my emails, and I will get 20 out of stock notifications all in one go. Oops, dropped my iron. So yes, but a lot of stuff's restocked, and of course it's a little bit slow, or it has been a bit slow in January during restocks, because a lot of our suppliers take a break. There we go. I'm just using 630 today. 630 or 640 is going to be your go-to for this. I really don't think you want to go too thick. You can prove me wrong if you like, but I think 630 or 640 is going to be enough. Oh, I have got coming in this week as well, I'll have them up this week, the little Teflon mats for the little irons. So we've got those coming back. So if you want to leave your iron on a little Teflon mat down, you can. If you've got it set on dry, it'll be fine to sit on it. So they will be back, but there's only, I think, maybe 1 or 2 irons there, and Birch are out of stock of these at the moment. So if you would like one and you see that they are out of stock, there's a little spot you can put in a request for an email notification when things are back, and then you'll know when they're actually back in stock. Right, so I need to sew these little bits together across here. So we'll whip round the sewing machine and get it set up. It's been a while, hasn't it? Since we did anything on the sewing machine. Oh, wait, before we go, I'm going to show you something. Just while I remember, if you decide to do a multicoloured one, I'm using like across both kind of colour stories, this one and the brights. First of all, I'm using black with mine because there is an element of black in these fabrics. There's just, they do go down into a little bit of black. So I'm running black zip with mine. If you decide to do the psychedelic thing like this and use both sort of the warm summer colours, the greens, yellows, oranges and reds, along with the purple, pinks and everything, then this is our bright zip. Should we? Sorry, I can't help myself. Hang on, let's do the switch. Let's put that there. Let's put that there. Just as a, see, you could if you really wanted to. You could go all out, all out. That will probably be what I use for this little purse, maybe for fun. But they're the 2 zips I think that are going to look best. The purple is, our purple is a plum, so it's not the best. The dark teal though, if you use the teal one, would be good. I haven't tagged that, but that would work really well also. Turn Rob's baby round. If you didn't know, this is Rob's machine. Rob, when I met Rob, he loved Swarovski crystals. I know. A guy that knows how to use a power tool, loves Swarovski crystals, and loves fabric. What more could you ask for? And he's outside landscaping at the moment. I know. But it was my excuse to buy him the Swarovski crystal version of the Benina. And in his spare time, I don't think you can see it, I'll turn it around. In his spare time, see that? See the crystals? Next winter on long nights, he's going to become an expert at machine embroidery design. I know, it's all good, it's all good. Anyway, I've got Rob's machine out today because it doesn't take up too much room because we've got so much happening here. But it is a dual feed machine, so back to those discussions we've had before. It's dual feed. I've got my 1/4 inch foot on. I've got the straight stitch plate on because we are just doing straight stitching. And with the dual feeds, with the wide feed dog slot or needle width slot, sometimes your needle can go down and upset your tension and it won't track as well. So always remember, if you've got dual feed, to pop your dual feed on with your dual feed foot for this sort of stuff. Lynn Fairweather, if you're watching, I don't know if Lynn's in the building or not. I will definitely let you know where to go and what to do for your sewing machine. I get a lot of questions about Benina now because we were a Benina dealer, and my mate Tim moved back to Sydney. How rude. No, he's gone back to Sydney. But there are a few options now available to get your Benina serviced. Oh, Wendy Burns, I can see you've left me you're writing a message to me. Could you pop it in an email for me as well? Because I often lose some of the comments at the end of a show. So it's hard for us to scroll through and see them all. So please, please pop pop it in an email for me, and then I do make sure I check them all straight after the show while I'm doing orders. Alright, I've just sewn that little strip to this bit, and I'll give it a quick iron and press it out, and then I can pop some backing onto it. I think the main thing I want to say before we get, you know, while I'm doing this little book again, is when you look at a bag, I want you to look for bag patterns that are not too complicated if you wish to really get into creating your own bespoke designs. Now, I have absolutely nothing against, you know, the lovely Annie by Annie.com and everything, and those bags are incredible and often complicated, and they're the equivalent of making a large medallion quilt to me in terms of the time and dedication and the techniques and everything to make them, and that's great. But what I want for you is to have really good basic bag patterns and the knowledge and the skills to turn them into your own creation. And I suppose at the moment one of the best ones to work with is the Melba tote that's one of the free downloads on our website. It's fantastic. It's a big bag, gives you a nice big blank canvas, and you can use fabrics like these, or you can do a whole heap of scrap squares onto the adhesive filing like this technique that we did, all those sorts of things, leftover applique blocks, all of that. Crazy patchwork like the gorgeous Yolanda did from my Christmas card, all that sort of stuff onto a blank canvas. Learn how to add your own pockets, bag furniture and everything. So if you are looking for bag patterns and you haven't done a lot yet and you want to create your own, don't look for the really complicated ones, look for the simple ones that then you can add as much detail as you want to yourself. I don't know that it's quite like adding salt, you know that line where you can always add more but you can't take it out. I'm not quite sure, but you know what I mean. I want you to find ones that allow you to get really creative, and they're flexible for you. They're flexible so that you can make lots of different bags with the one pattern. Alright, I've sewn these together. I cut a little bit of pellin that was roughly the right size. So I'll just iron that on there. You know, and with a little bag like this, you've all got an absolute collection from me of ideas you can use, whether it's paper piecing or ruching, or if I think about what we did in the Advent calendar at the end of last year, there were lots of techniques. If you go to my craft and cook shows on the YouTube channel, there's lots of stuff there that you can use too. So just don't get put off by a complicated pattern, and make sure that you give yourself the opportunity to create something really special that's yours. It's like a basic butter cake recipe that you add stuff to, isn't it? Okay, so that's my back. I'm going to have a flap that comes over. Actually, I've got my two flap bits cut here. Where are they? Here they are. So this is going to be my back flap, and I will repeat this process to put over the top of that. So I'll have one over here as well. In fact, I might want a bigger one there. I might actually do two, or it might cut it down. But actually, I'm being naughty. What I have to remember, I've allowed for in the design, is it's going to be more like that, because the width of the bag, or the width of the gusset, the flap's going to come over from the back, so you actually kind of lose about that much. It's going to sit like that. All right. So then when we come to talking about zips, you can get a little bit scared, and I understand that when it comes to putting these in. I know you all know I have a very publicised zip phobia. Okay, so this is the pocket lining. So when you look at the pattern, two things. There will be pocket lining, and there will actually be the front pocket. I probably, when I do this again, I probably should have written, or Emma and I should have written, concealed front pocket, because this you don't see. This is the pocket here. This is the pocket lining, so these are going to get sewn together, and it's going to flip over, and that's going to sit there. But this is the piece that sits behind, and this is often the bit that we get a little bit freaked out about. So I've grabbed this bag. This is the Look at Me bag that Marg and I did, and this is the one I could lay my hands on really quickly. So this is the front of your pocket. When I open it, that's the lining. You see that? And then, actually I'll pop it on the overhead for you. Pocket lining, and see this bit in here? That's actually the front pocket piece in there. And that gets attached to the top half of the zip. So that's where you just have to have the faith and just you read the pattern through once, as I say, and then as you go, it'll make sense. But as I said, that's why you've got so many bits to cut out when you start, because you've got flap, you've also got the overlay if you do the one that I did. So see on the right hand side, see you can just see the denim flap, and then there's a curved piece of the fabric over the top. That's the pocket overlay. So instead of doing an embellishment, if you like, over the top of a flower or EPP or something, I've actually done another piece the same size as the flap, but a little bit smaller. Alright, so that's what that is. Alright, so shall we get this, let's get this all going. And we'll put our zip bit in so that you get the hang of this if you haven't done it. Alright, I'm going to move my ironing board. It's like any sewing room, this is, it's never big enough. I could make this table 5 meters long and I would still manage to run out of room, I'm sure. Okay, so when you buy zip, it comes in 1 meter lengths or 2. If you buy 2 meters, if we've still got it in a whole length, we'll cut you one whole piece. But many of our zips have been pre-cut, so it is luck of the draw, I'm sorry, with that. Alright, so here are our 2 pieces, and we need to sew them together with the zip sandwiched in between. Now, I'm just showing you this. You've got lots of instructions down here on how this all works together. And I'm going to try and do it without reading the instructions for once. Okay, so I need to make sure I've got a piece of zip that is generously long enough. Oh yeah, generously long enough. I'm just looking for the scissors I want. So I'm going to cut that there, pop that aside, and find what I did with my pulls. So we've talked about this, I know, before. One of when we did the Melba satchel or the Summer Palace satchel, I can't remember. The pattern, and a lot of the patterns that you get for bags will come with instructions and measurements for a dress zip. And I just want you to remember that, because a dress zip is much narrower than our big feature zips. And that means a lot of the time the instructions only allow for a narrower zip, and that piece, sorry, not that piece, I'm pointing at the wrong one. This piece that sits down behind our pocket front is not going to be long enough. So you need to make this bit here longer. So just keep that in mind for me. Now we're going to sandwich this together. So sorry, I've got to get the orientation right. Right side down, so right side up for the zip, wrong side down for the pocket. And what shall we use? We'll use pins. We could use clips. Where are my clips? That's a good question. Ah, there they are. We'll use clips. Clips are good. Okay, so put these in here. So I'm sort of running over where that zip pull is at the moment. Alright, so they're on, and then we're going to flip it over and we're going to go back and add our lining. You can see that's what's going to happen. Right? So it's going to sit up like that. So we'll come through, just make sure that these line up down here, pop this across. And I know we've had a lot of discussions lately as well on what to do about your foot on your sewing machine. I've got my zip foot out this morning, but remember what we said, you can actually run with an open toe foot and move your needle across as well. Now, I'm not 100% sure, no, that I've got you set up this morning. To be able to see, I think, let me just try and bring this camera in a little bit for you. There we go, that'll do there, like that. So we need to pop on, I'm going to pop on my zip foot. And there we go. That's not too bad. There we are. So have we all got a fabulous day planned? I have a list. I always have a list. And it involves some inside activities and some outside activities. You live this dream of moving one day to the country, and then it happens, and then it's all go because you dedicated yourself. I need to change this, don't I? You dedicated yourself to the whole package. The preserving fruit when it arrives or when it comes into season, you know, all of that. And then you then realise you have to drop everything. So when you've got your own fruit on your trees, you can check it every day. Just moving my foot plate back. You can check it every day and I can watch it. So there's plums being watched at my mate's at the moment. I'm watching my apples every day. I'm sort of, you know, quinces, all of that. But then you also order 30 kilos of apricots from the Goulburn Valley. And they came kind of a week earlier than planned. So I have all of the fowlers set up and everything on the back deck at the moment. And yeah, that's what we've been doing. Why? Oh. Smart machine won't let me move the needle because it says I've got a number 37 foot on. No, I don't. There we go. Okay. So I've moved my needle all the way across and I've got my zip foot on, and I'm going to give you as close as I can. Oh, with my coffee, sorry. Move that out of the way. So I'm just going to pop this on here and sew. So it's Apricot City. So today is, so I took all the perfect fruit, if you like. Oh, I didn't put my jewel feed down. All the perfect fruit has been bottled. And then today we're down to sauce, chutney and jam. Now Mum's also doing jam, so if my jam doesn't work, I'm just walking away from it and admitting defeat and letting Mum do the jam. Okay, I'll move that across there. Just move that zip pull out of the way. I just want to do this first bit for you so that you go, okay, that makes sense. I get it now. You can come back and watch it, and then you can you'll work the rest out. Easy peasy yourself. There is a pocket inside this design as well. It's not a zip pocket, but you could add a zip pocket in to the back if you wanted to. How funky is that going to look? That is really funky. All right. I'm just going to give that a little iron. Oh, there they are. I knew I had them out. This is Colour 20 Eleganza Pearl Thread. That goes beautifully with that pre-cut pack. I've popped some of the Eleganzas up today, you'll see, under the swing tag, and that's because they are new. So we've got about 20 new colours in. We redid our whole beautiful stand yesterday. It is chockers now with all the new primitive colours that we love and the original Eleganzas. So please, please have a little look. If you're adding to your stash, it's what Emma would call the chewy checkout. That while you're buying fabric each time, you add a confetti, Nafina or an Eleganza so that you slowly build up your beautiful collection of threads. Yes. Just got to remember not to get carried away with that zip pull, don't we? So it doesn't fall off the end. So this now should have a top stitch. Now I'm going to come back and do mine later because I want to do them in white or black or purple. I haven't decided, so I will leave that. But isn't that, it's just so effective straight up. Okay, now what we do is we go back and repeat that process, but this time we're adding on the top half of the front panel, and we're also adding this piece that goes in behind. So if we do it again, repeat it, we have this right side up, we flip this over and it will go on here. I just want to put one peg in this end so that Megan Lancaster slept in. Unbelievable. You are the zip queen. Haven't you got a market today, Meg? I don't know. All right, so that goes there. Everyone needs to follow Lancaster Textiles, by the way. Have I said that right, Megan? Is it Lancaster Textiles? I can't remember. I know I follow it. Okay, so that one goes there. Flip it over. Now, this one goes there. And can you see what's going to happen? If I flip this back, when this goes up, that bit of fabric is going to be underneath. So, I'm popping back on overhead like that, and I'm going to pull this over here and just show that to you again. So zip this time again, pop it on right side up, put the top panel right side down, so when that flips up it's going to sit like that, and then when we flip it over we pop the front pocket, which is actually the pocket piece that you don't see, on like that. And then if I flip it over, flip this up, you can now see that that piece is going to sit underneath. And it's going to be very pretty when you open up your pocket. So I'm going to put this back here, just clip this. If you could get a side view of me now, bare feet, FXD dirty navy work pants with my gumboots next to me, hunched over my husband's beautiful Bonina sewing machine. It would be something that you'd just never be able to unsee, I swear. Okay. And the work pants are on because when I'm finished with you, I'm going to take off this top. And I will go away, Robbie. I will go out and deadhead some roses and plant some flag irises before I go back into the studio, into my sewing room. Okay, that's like that. Rob's working right outside the door. He's doing a new path across to the shed, and he's right outside the door, and you can hear everything. Don't be hearing it through his actual earpods. Or through the door, I don't know. Tell you one thing, I'm swapping these cameras back when I get a chance tomorrow. Okay, alright. So we'll do down this side. And then I'll be about ready to set you free to make yours. So we don't, okay, so again, we don't have this as a digital download, and the reason is, well, you do if you're in a quilter's life, but the reason we don't do it as a normal one is because I need you to have your little, I want you to have your little Epiplex template. So the pattern does come with 5 of those in it, 5 or 6. I'm usually pretty generous in case you drop one on the floor. You might have noticed if you buy the 25 packs. So that's there. If you're in a quilter's life and you're doing the geisha, they are exactly the same shape. They're not equilateral octagons. They have 4 long and 4 short sides. Or you can use the big equilateral ones. I'll show you in a tip. Alright, so we'll take this off. And there we are. There's our gorgeous little bit, like that. Now you don't have to have this little strip. You could just change that out if you want to, but I like having a little separation there so that you've got a contrast for me against the black rather than just having the black on black zip there. Push this out like that, and that's going to sit up there. Now, with the pattern, if you want to just make a little note, and I will put notes in a quilter's life, and I will put a little worksheet in with the pattern for you on switching around the colours. Okay, so I will pop that in for you so that if you want to do this combination instead of the opposite in terms of where the fabrics sit, the feature and the contrast. So I will pop that in for you. All right, so you've got it. But just keep in mind, don't let this zip run over the edge. And also make a note, sorry, that's what I was going to say. This piece in the pattern, sorry, can you see that? This piece, the concealed piece in the pattern, is 6.5 long. It's the same size as the pocket pieces. However, because of this wider zip, we actually need to add 1/2 inch to that length. Now, if you're using your own zips and you're not quite sure how much to add, all I would suggest is make it a generous piece. Make it 7.5, 8. Just make it long enough, and because you can always come back and trim this off afterwards. All right. So that's pretty. It's pretty. I was going to say pretty funky, but that's blowing my own trumpet, so I won't. I'll just say it's pretty because it's pretty fabric. So I just want to move this across to the side, and I'll show you something else just quickly as well. When it comes to the gusset that goes right round the bag, and this goes for any all-in-one base and sides, you can, where'd I put it? You can mess with the width of the gusset very easily because it doesn't impact on any other dimensions or measurements that you need in the bag. So this width here can be anything, and you can see what I've done with the studio bag. It's actually a wider piece around there, and we added in some little loops and a little tie, and that pulls in the sides, and it just gives it a bit of interest. You see it a lot on designer leather bags. They'll have 2 little D-ring fobby things across here. So that just gives it a bit of interest as well. And it doesn't have to be the same width all the way around the bag. You can taper it in or out towards the top if you want to. So keeping that in mind as well, you can tell I'm in my comfort zone with this stuff, can't you? I can't wait to do this book again. And if you are in the UK, yes, Natasha will be getting them in. She's been bugging me for ages. So with this bag as well, the pattern calls for it to be quite narrow. I think we cut what do we cut? Gusset 2 inches wide. So I didn't want to cut down my this feature fabric too small. So I've actually left mine at 2.5. It's not going to make any difference to the bag, really. All that's going to happen is that this side here is going to be 1/2 inch bigger when it's finished. And then all that means is when the flap comes over onto the top, like we talked about before, it might just sit up a little bit higher. But if you put a little magnetic closure or something on the other side of the bag without the zip, on this one here, it might just sit up a little bit higher, or like that, or you might want to make this a little bit longer. But it's really 1/2 inch amongst friends is not going to make any difference. With my pack, with this one, these are fat 8s, so they're only about 22 21.5, 22 inches at their longest point with these, of course, because they're half the width of the bolt. So what I did, I went through and cut 2 pieces and just joined them together. So these two were 14.25 instead of 28, and so that little extra quarter on each piece enabled me to have that little seam in there. So now that they're sewn together, 2 times 14.25, it's now back to 28 like the pattern asks for. So I've sewn together those, and then I've done a green set as well in the bright green. But this is the one that I will use on the outside of my bag. So that's going to go around there, and that's going to be lovely. See that? Whee! Cool. So that's what you can do. And I was just going to say too, I've cut my, I have cut my piece of 630 Pallen down. Like anything that's fibrous and woven, once it gets really thin, it's got a fair bit of stretch in it. So what I would actually do is iron it onto, I've just cut a generous piece, and I will iron it on from one end to the other. And I'm not going to be too precious about them being exactly the same size, because you do get a little bit of a stretch and give with the Pallen. So I will iron that on, and then I will trim the rest off, and then that's my piece to go around the outside. So in terms of other elements that are on this bag that you'll come across as you're making it, see at the top you've got those 2 little loops to go in if you're attaching your D-rings for your straps. And as I mentioned, you can just scrap that, absolutely scrap it if you want to, and instead just do that 4 thickness strap. Measure it out to the length you want. Again, you know, it's really nice doing your own because you can kind of audition how long you want it. For me, it's usually about, I've lost the other end of it. It's usually, I don't know, I usually do them about 30 inches, about 75 centimetres to start with. Hey. All right, who makes clothing? Come on, look at that. Oh, I'm feeling it. I'm feeling a yoke coming on. Look at that. Wouldn't that be really nice down the front of... Sorry, I've moved on. Talk amongst yourselves. Just saying. About 70 centimetres is where I'm at. But just get a piece of ribbon. Actually, get your metre a zip. Use that to audition how long you want it. You might want it to be longer so that it will go across your body. So that's the other great thing about making your own strap. You can join pieces together and cut it to the length that you want to get it to work. So there you go. I think, how's that? Is that giving you a kickstart? Oh, one more thing. Sorry, nearly forgot. One more thing. If you decide to do this little fussy cut thing in here, thank you. Hello, Donna. How are you? All right, so I'm going to pop that there. Now, if you want to upsize, that's what the big ones look like. So they're the ones that we sell in this little pack here. Okay. Happy birthday, Marie. Sorry, I did see your note before, but I was mid-sentence. Hello, Lisa. How are you? Hello, Elaine. Oh, you're all here. Lovely. Okay. So that's what they look like. You could actually have 2 of those. 3 of those, so 2 rows of those, or you could have 2 rows of those. And oh, I have to say it, I just have to say it, if you had a plain gusset around the edge in the black, you could run a whole row of EPP. So if your gusset you could do that right around the edge. I do like that. Or you can have a big wide strap for a bag with those on too, couldn't you? Oh, it's just not enough time in a Sunday. Carla's here. I'm sorry I missed you. Were here before. How are you? Are you good? I hope so. Robin, hello to you. Anne, Fiona. Who else did I miss? Lisa, you still in NT video? Oh, I'm so sorry your video is playing up, Heather. Thank you very much, as I said, Donna. Patty, welcome. Thank you for joining us. Megan slept in. Wendy, it's all done with mirrors and smoke. And Marie, I hope you have a fabulous day. I really do. Oh, good. Sorry, Wen. I wasn't sure if you were asking me to do something for you, but of course, always happy to. I do like this stuff. Doesn't go with my top, but I do like it. All right, I'm going to leave you with that. You have a fabulous Sunday. Next week, speaking of strips, I've got a project for you that I first did as a large, huge exhibition piece for one of the Australian textile exhibitions that we used to do at the Botanic Gardens at Cranbourne. And it involves using strips. Jelly rolls are appropriate, or I'm going to give you a couple of tips on creating your own. I'm going to show you a really cool thing that you can do with them next week with a plain fabric to go with them. So that's what we're going to do next Sunday, which I'm really excited about, that what I wanted to do it with has finally arrived. So that's what we're going to do next Sunday. In the meantime, there'll be a newsletter out this week recapping what we've done over the last couple of shows, if you want to catch up with that. And it may actually have some divine new jelly rolls in it, which will be featuring in next week's show too. So please check that out, won't you? All right. Thank you so much for joining me. It's been fab. And I hope you enjoy the rest of your Sunday. If you've got any questions, you know, I'm just out in the garden today, or I'm in the shed here. So if you can always give me a call, or you can email me at info@chandlerscottage.com. All right. Thank you so much. Have a fantastic day, won't you? Bye.